Brandon, go for it. Introduce our star that's joining us today.
Okay, I guess I'm introducing Kevin here. I've known Kevin here for going on 5 years and had him speak at one of my events, but I did a lot of research on Kevin. He's big in the infomercial space. To go back in time, he actually grew up in Ohio, and he's a young entrepreneur who is doing the seal coating business for driveways. So he's always been an entrepreneur. He actually grew up in a bar business with his dad. And then he ended up getting one day where he kind of got in the infomercial space is one day he was watching television. And you know how they used to have the bars where that free space that was there? He saw an opportunity. So he made some calls and realized he could buy up that time to use it for selling things. And that kind of led into the infomercial industry where he started working with big names like Jack LaLanne, 50 Cent, the Kardashians, you name all these people, he's worked with them. One thing he did that's very interesting, he was helping these people sell their products and he was building their brand. And so he was making a lot of money for them. He was making money, but the one lesson he learned was he needed to build his own brand. So what he did is he started doing podcast shows. He started going on radio shows. He started creating more video content. And what that led to him getting on is actually getting handpicked for Shark Tank. So if you look at Shark Tank, Mark Burnett called him up and said, "Hey, Kevin, come over to LA. I have this idea." He filmed, and that led to him being the original shark in Shark Tank. I don't have much more to say because the guy's done so much. I'll say that he's like a father I haven't had, and he's helped a lot of people have a lot of success in business. So there we have it, the one and only Kevin Harrington.
There you go. So let's make sure everyone knows that Kevin's a class act. Also, Home Shopping Network. People need to know HSN Direct. He was the creator behind that. 135 episodes of Shark Tank, which are in syndicated reruns right now. So it looks like he's still part of the original. He is part of the original team, but he's still on reruns. Good place to be. So let me explain the format here, guys. This is a Q&A. You get to use our mentors' resources and knowledge to help you out. And since Kevin is joining us, I'm going to start with the very first question. I led with it when we talked to you on Saturday, and that is old traditional broadcast, over the air. We call it legacy. People say it's dead. Do you think there's still value there?
I think there's still value there. There's still people coming there every day to watch television. I mean, look, people are at home right now. What are they doing? They're watching television. Actually, ratings are up. So, and certainly, okay, in this time, they're home, so they're going to watch more TV. But I know the news channels are doing very well. Obviously, lots of competition from the Netflixes of the world. I'll say this. Up until recently, I've been more of an old school kind of TV watcher, ABC, CBS, NBC, and that kind of stuff. Now that I'm home so much, I've been watching a little bit of Netflix and Ozark and some of those kind of shows, having a lot of fun doing it, by the way. So, but I do believe that, NBC, for example, that was a company owned by General Electric. There was really no synergy between NBC, which was a huge content creator, and General Electric. So what did GE do? They sold it to Comcast. Why did Comcast want to buy NBC? Because Comcast has all these cable homes. What do they need? Content. So what is old legacy television and broadcast? It's really content is what it is. And so currently you're getting content for free, but they're going to start charging you for it here real soon, because why should NBC and CBS and all these guys be spending billions of dollars to create content and give it away for free? So
we actually saw this, if I'm right, Kevin. Les Moonves was the one who really started this whole issue, because when the MSOs, the local cable companies, were getting their CBS from them, CBS wanted to raise the rates. Yeah. And the cable company said, like Comcast said, we're just not going to air you anymore. So right. Les is the one said, hey, let's go more digital. And CBS All Access was made, and CBS All Access is killing it right now with the content.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, so there, I mean, there's NBC has the Peacock that's launching, right? CBS, everyone's going to be in the digital space. And at the end of the day, I mean, if an NBC creates a hit show that becomes very powerful and successful, a Law and Order, a Seinfeld, whatever it might be, you're creating big assets there. So,
yeah, but I'd say something, Kevin. Kevin, this then speaks to the situation, and that is with the O&Os, the local regional television networks. They might be priced out to where they can't afford the NBCs or the ABCs in the future. They're going to have to rely on local content then, aren't they?
Yeah, potentially. I mean, yeah, I mean, I think, I mean, you know, what's also crazy is as you look at the local aspect. So NBC locally here in Tampa, they also own another broadcast station. So you know, so you'll be watching the Today Show on NBC, and at the end of it, they'll say, and by the way, time now to go over to our other channel and watch local news. So, I mean, the local content players are still alive and well, and there's still acquisitions occurring in the world of broadcast television.
So that's television. What do you think about radio?
I'm not a guru on radio, but my guess is that it's similar. I mean, over the 38 some years I've been doing what I do, 99+% of it has been in terms of old media, TV versus newspaper and radio. But I do know this: radio rates have dropped because, you know, they're having challenges, you know, just like the broadcast networks are also. And a lot of marketers like ourselves, I know people here in my hometown of Tampa, Florida, that are buying, they're buying radio blocks, you know, 30-minute blocks, and they're producing, you know, real estate shows or local shows, local construction, you know, home improvement companies are doing these kinds of things. So at the end of the day, I look at it as it's all about media. It's all about customer acquisition cost. It's all about getting out there and testing all these kinds of things and seeing what's working. So, I mean, I know we've tested a campaign right now that was running. We were over $10 to get a lead. We're now down to under $1 to get a lead. Now, that's all digital. Now we're going to test it on radio and television and see how that holds up. But there definitely are great opportunities for radio.
Let me ask that question real quick. Christopher Miller, who's in Kansas. Christopher, how many radio stations have you owned? Christopher Miller. I guess he's not there at the moment, okay? I want to say Christopher owns about 20 or 30 stations. We'll ask him what the inventory. Inventory is interesting. Fred Joyle, I'm not sure if he's on this call, but Fred would buy the 6 seconds before Oprah, because people would DVR and then skip the commercials and go back and get his 1-800 dentist. You know, 1-800 dentist?
Sure. Yeah.
That's Fred, who's in our group. So it's not about buying 30-second or 1-minute blocks. It could be small seconds of blocks, right?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Got to get creative. So you're here to hang out with us. Let's talk about the TV viewer. Are they different than the digital viewer? So if you want to sell a product, do you actually have to section on where they are, digital versus broadcast?
Well, so I'll say this. TV, I mean, we did the Tony Little Gazelle, for example, $500 piece of fitness equipment, right? You're going to have a tough time selling that in a digital way, because digital is generally get 30 second, 60 second, 90 second, maybe 2 minute, but you don't put 30 minutes on Facebook, right? So television is powerful when it comes to selling a $500 product. You know, when somebody tunes in and they're watching, I mean, people understand that when they go to TV, they're not planning on watching for 60 or 90 seconds, they're planning maybe a couple of hours, right? So if they see something, oh, wait, what's that Tony Little guy talking about? Let me listen to that. They don't necessarily think they're going to listen for 30 minutes, but they tune in, they get kind of sucked into it. And now 20 minutes later, they're still watching, and boom, they're pulling out their credit card, because it takes time to make that sale.
Our mutual friend, John Cogden, who's over at Beachbodies, and they're doing some long form stuff on YouTube and all that, and they're doing pretty well with it, right?
Are they? Yeah. I didn't even know that, but that's good. Hey,
Yeah, well, it sounds
Yeah.
like people want
YouTube
stories.
is different than Facebook, obviously.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, well, talk about that. Talk about the YouTube versus Facebook market. Is there a real good market in the Facebook world?
Oh yeah, Facebook. I mean, we do almost all of our digital testing either on Facebook or Instagram before we do any other place. Yeah, yeah. In fact, I mean, in the old days, I used to shoot 50 plus infomercials and spots a year for television. Now I do about 5 for TV, and we do probably 100 for digital. New product tests, 100 a year we're doing. A couple a week we're doing tests, digital tests. And it's a lot cheaper to do a digital test than it is to do a test on TV.
And when you did the whole QVC, HSN, that whole market, you were able to use area codes and phone numbers to determine what cable company they were with, so that cable company would get a percentage of that sales.
Correct.
That's all gone now because everyone has a different phone number that may not be tied to their local cable provider or satellite provider, right?
Yeah, but see, that's QVC and HSN. They have a contract with the cable operator to pay a percentage of sales. And I know they've done it in the past using phone numbers, but I also think they go by zip code. And so at the end of the day, I've got about a dozen products on HSN and QVC right now. And I don't deal with paying the local cable company. I only wholesale my product. So I don't have to deal with that. Now, you mentioned QVC and HSN, Ken, and Muzzle mention it. Right now, I mean, QVC's stock is up about 60% in the last 30 days. Why? Because viewership is rising. And by the way, they're up 60%, but they were way down from before. So I don't want to be misleading in that it's higher than what it was a year ago. Right. It's way lower than it was a year ago, but in the last 30 days, that stock has gone from $5 to over $8 a share. I think it may be down under $8 today, but why? Because they've got all these people sitting at home. Number two, they're tailoring the products to the folks sitting at home and what's going on. They're selling sanitizing products and UV sterilizers. And by the way, I'm selling them the magic saw, the magic wrench, the magic hammer. Why? It's DIY products. They're sitting at home. They're not calling contractors. They want to do it themselves. And so, what are the categories? This is what our pivot right now is. We're focused on new sets of products, right? I mean, for example, here's an item. I can't say too much about it, but this is an electronic misting product that will absolutely crush it when it comes to spraying. You can clean your computer screens and your keyboards. It's a nano mister. And a year ago, I may never have gotten excited about this, but this is the kind of thing that's blowing out on the shopping channels.
It also makes your penis 7 times bigger, just to let you know. It's got a dual purpose.
I missed that claim. Hey, tell me about it.
It's very fine print.
Yeah,
how about what Charlie Ergen did over at Dish? He ended up taking a lot of his channels and turning them into sell products. The knife channel, they had the outdoor channel. How did those work out?
So they're doing great. I mean, and I say over time, I know the Cutlery Corner guys. I mean, they've been on for years and years. I mean, probably I've seen them for 15 years, and they still sell some of the same stuff they've been selling ever since. So, I mean, when you think about it, you could go on QVC. They sell cookware. They sell food. They sell. I mean, at the end of the day, it's similar stuff that they've been selling for the last 15 years, but they pivot based on the seasonality and also obviously this entire pandemic has created lots of categories that didn't exist before. But yeah, there's lots of people like me out there that have products that want to get distribution. So companies that are big in the knife business, they decided we want 24 hours a day, just like the jewelry channel guys did. Jewelry TV, they do $600 to $800 million a year in business. Doing what? Selling jewelry. That's it. It's all just jewelry, but they're crushing it, doing very well.
So as we look at personality-driven sales, so next week, a mutual friend of ours, Sully Sullivan's on next week. He can sell anything.
Anthony Sullivan.
Yep,
Yeah.
anything. And he's doing a new CBD thing he's doing and shooting a TV show along with it.
Yeah, he's my neighbor, by the way. He lives
He's
across
6 miles away, he told me. Yeah, he's right down the street.
It's not quite 6, but he's around the corner. But yeah.
Kilometers, I don't know.
Yeah,
but
whatever.
he says it's all around content and personality driven. Now, it can't just be a product. You have to really turn it into a hook, a sale, and a personality.
Yes.
You find the same thing?
I agree with that. So, for example, have you seen the TV show called Botched?
Yeah.
Dr. Paul Nassif, and there's 2 doctors on that show. They deal with primarily women who've had terrible plastic surgery experiences, and they got botched, and now they're coming to get it fixed. So Dr. Paul Nassif has been crushing it on HSN for years now, selling what? Beauty products, okay? Because he creates magical transformation on a cable network. I think it's on Bravo. But get this, Ken. Bravo runs his show in 157 countries around the world. So that's the power of a TV show. And by the way, that's the power of Shark Tank too. It runs all around the world. It's running in cable networks and the like in many, many countries around the world. So, but yes, Dr. Paul Nassif, and I can't remember the name of his partner on that show. The other doctor, he's on, Paul Nassif's on Home Shopping Network right here in St. Pete. The other doctor is on the channel out of Minneapolis, which they've changed their name a bunch of times. I think it was Shop HQ. This is
Evine. Actually,
Evine. Yeah,
Evine,
but I don't think it's Evine anymore.
No, they went belly up. They had all kinds of problems. I knew that the CEO, they had some issues.
Yeah. They're still in business, but the other doctor is on whatever the new version of Evine is. It actually got acquired by the guys that sell watches, high-end, rather big jumbo watches type of thing. So that's been a powerful distribution outlet for them.
So Kevin, let's create a mini you. Let's take somebody like a Brandon, young guy, good looking, speaks well, and he wants to now use your word, crush it as he moves forward. What things does he need to add in his arsenal? First, what kind of product should he focus on?
Good question. And let's not get Brandon's head too big here. Good looking and all that, you're telling him? I mean, come on. I love it. Thank you. Brandon, he's a good looking boy from Iowa. And he's done a great job of building his brand, by the way. And so, I mean, Brandon is out there constantly putting out posts, creating content. And this is what he was talking about with me and the whole Mark Burnett thing. So I actually had spent some time with Richard Branson, went down to Necker Island, hung out with Richard, and Richard said, Kevin, you got any books? Are you creating any content? Does anyone know? This is before Shark Tank. And so he said, you should start getting out there and creating stuff. So I came back, I wrote a book, and then the book was taking off. I was doing interviews, and I was creating content, and I was doing podcasts. And that's when I heard from Mark Burnett. And I think, Brandon had actually created his own reality show also. He and his wife, Samantha, they're traveling the world and doing some great things. But I mean, in terms of products, Brandon has created a few products along the way. And, he's a young male. So, I mean, one of the things that's hot out there right now in these categories, you see Get Roman, right? It's, impotency and male erectile dysfunction. Okay. So I'm not saying that Brandon needs that product, but those are, what's male oriented, skincare possibly. There's a lot of male stuff that's going to start coming out. Hair loss is big. Male potency is big. If you Get Roman is now expanded in, you think of them as the erectile dysfunction company, but they've got things for sleep problems, for erectile.
Focus on the male demographic is what you're saying.
I mean, that certainly would be one area that Brandon, as a young male entrepreneur, could focus on. And by the way, that other channel, the Shop HQ channel that we were just talking about, they launched something called the Bulldog Network. I don't know if you knew that. It's a male channel. It's the Bulldog Network is a separate cable channel from Shop HQ Evine, and it's focused on male products. So I have some things that I sell on there. I sell some I'm trying to think, tie clips and cuff links and things like that, right? Male oriented stuff. So I put them up there, post it, et cetera, et cetera. There's lots of opportunity as these channels start getting a little bit segmented.
Yeah, niching. So let me take an example. Let's go with Lanre. Lanre, another great guy in the group. Should he, again, let's say segment and go after the African side, like the Wakanda channel? I'm being serious, and focus on a market that's probably underutilized.
Yeah, I believe, yes, absolutely. The other thing, Ken, and I think I'm involved with another guy that created something called the Urban Shopping Network, and it's in the Caribbean, in millions of homes. So if there's anybody out there looking to get penetration into ethnic urban type homes in the Caribbean, there's an urban shopping channel.
Why not create it here?
Huh?
Why not create it here in the States?
Well, they could run it here. They have media distribution deals in the Caribbean.
Well, I'm saying, why not create or have somebody create an urban channel just in the States? It seems like it's a wide open area.
Good. I mean, you could. To launch something like that is millions, if not tens of millions of dollars. So somebody's got to do it and invest in the resources. I will tell you something that I'm working on that is going to be, I think, a game changer. I'm involved, and I'm just signing this agreement in the next couple of days, so I can't say who it is because I don't want to mess the deal up. But I'm going to be getting involved in a major equity play with a company that allows you to set up your own live shopping channel just right from your home. They have all the systems. They have all these people coming to their channel, and you now can have your own live channel. You can do live half hour a day, an hour a day, as much as you want, but they've got hundreds of people that are broadcasting their own channels on a daily basis across many different spectrums. This is going to be one of the things that's going to change the world in the future. And this is, people are going to be able to wake up in the morning, grab something out of their closet they're not wearing anymore, go live on their own shopping channel and pitch it and sell it and make money selling products or things. You can sell used products if you disclose them properly, or new products because they have liquidated goods that they connect people to people that want to get liquidate their goods too. So I think this is one of the things that I'm excited about for my future, is that I'm going to be involved with a company that will allow you to have your own live shopping channel, and they'll have all the operations, all the credit card processing, shipping, fulfillment, customer service, everything for you under one roof.
So I get it. You're saying the platform has to be there. Amazon did this with something called Z Shops. Shaheen's joining us. Shaheen, by the time he was 19, he was doing about 350 million a year off of what he was selling. But Shaheen now is a god on Amazon. And Shaheen, you only look for platforms that exist and you leverage those, right, Shaheen?
Right. Yeah. We go distribution first. So, like the most common question that people ask me is, hey, I've got this idea. Do you think it's great? Should I make it? And then the problem with that is people make the product and then go seeking the distribution, which is all backwards. You got to start with the distribution. That's the key to any successful sales. And I know Kevin's an expert at that,
That's
So
what
that's
the
it.
urban shopping channel's doing. You said, why aren't they in the US? They have a distribution deal with Caribbean television networks. So they produce the content, give it to the distribution networks, they get the sales. Now, could they do that in the US? Yes, but maybe they got to go buy time on DirecTV. I mean, DirecTV they'll sell you an hour, they'll sell you 6 hours a day, they'll sell you 24 hours a day, whatever you want. But that's a whole undertaking. It's very expensive because now you've got to buy the time, you're buying that distribution, and you just got to be careful. If you're buying X number of hours a day, you got to now fill that content of X number of hours a day of content fill.
We have a ton of successful entrepreneurs who've had exits on different companies. One is Tommy, who's based in Augusta, Georgia. Tommy, what's your question for Kevin?
Yeah, so the question's a pretty simple one. My business partner behind me and I built a network of TV screens all over the U.S. in high schools, elementary schools, and middle schools. So I have actually access to a distribution network, a broadcast network of screens that are already in front of literally millions of students every day when they're not at home watching commercials. Our next move is to open up those broadcast channels to advertisers. So how do we begin at a very select rate, begin to approach companies, because it makes total sense for me, what's all those eyeballs worth to Mattel or somebody else selling toys in November and December before they go on break?
Sure, powerful. Now, is this in the schools or is this the students in their homes?
In the schools while they're there.
And
all day long.
Do you have any issues with what you're allowed to? Are you allowed to start selling products on there?
Yep, absolutely. And it goes district to district. Every school district has different things. The way we've approached it so far is looking to partner with a large brand. I keep going back to a toy company of some sort, but where, Mattel has all the Barbie line, and now they can say, we're going to do commercials that are, or ads around these characters that are STEM related for young girls, so you can have Dr. Barbie, but you still get to build that brand consistently over and over all day long.
Right. So just a couple of thoughts. And by the way, that's pretty exciting to have that distribution. That probably, I'm sure you spent tons of money getting those TV screens put into those schools. And so a couple of things. I do a lot of Shark Tank style events. For example, last week, it was a grade school right here in my backyard. I took pitches. We whittled it down to the top 3 winners. Then we took 3 10-minute pitches and we gave the winner a prize that the school had put together. So there's a lot of entrepreneurial activity, and this was a grade school, but I do this for high schools, and I've done several dozen. It's funny, I go to Auburn University every year. You're in Augusta. One of my favorite cities, by the way. I had a house rented for the Masters, so I'll be there in November. So hope to see you then. So
yeah, let's do that.
I'm a big golf fan, but I do a lot of universities. So what age are the kids for the TVs? Are they?
K through 12, and then we have a division that's also university. So we do higher ed. So kindergarten through 22-year-olds.
So like at Auburn, I go into Auburn. I've been there it's now my 4th year going into Auburn. We call it the Tiger Cage because it's the Auburn Tigers, and they're in the, it's like the Shark Tank. It's the Tiger Cage. We take pitches, and so it's really cool to see what the kids are developing and what they're working on. So one part of me says, are you familiar with Ryan Levesque and the ask method? So Ryan says, put together an ask program, ask what they need, ask what they want. And if you go into grade schools, high schools, and colleges, they're going to tell you what kind of products they want. And then ultimately, as you put them up, based on the responses that you're getting, you'll see the categories that they're hitting on, and the things. Are they more ingestibles, or are they more gadget oriented, et cetera, et cetera. But I know I could come up with a lot of great products for you. And so we should collaborate sometime in the future here.
I like how Kevin right away, Tommy, you saw Kevin's head going, all right, how do I get into this deal? How do I get with it?
That's okay by me. So Kevin, I messaged you in the chat. There's all my contact information.
I'll make sure you guys have it. I'll make sure you guys are connected on it. Thanks, Tommy. It sounds like an awesome thing you're working on. I know you were working on it when we were down there a couple of years ago. Let's go over to Lanre. Lanre, I'm going to pop you on. Lanre, your question for Kevin.
Hey, Kevin. Thanks for taking the time. Appreciate you. My question is, what are you seeing in kind of the personality-led health and fitness space? Is there something new, or has Beachbody just completely taken over that space?
You know, Beachbody's obviously done an amazing job. And they've had some branded folks that have been involved in their arena. But, you know, when you think about all the things that are happening in that space, Peloton is out there, right? And the beauty of Peloton, they sell the piece of equipment, and there's a monthly continuity subscription. So that's powerful. I actually did a deal. I don't know if you remember Billy Blank's Tybo. So, you know, Billy and I are partners we opened a gym right there in LA. And the concept, the reason we did it is we wanted to put cameras in there so we could then start. He does classes every single day, including Sundays. And so, you know, having the opportunity to tune in to a Billy Blank's, you know, personal kind of training is kind of cool. So I think, you know, Beachbody's done a great job, but there's going to be, I think you're going to see other folks like the Billy Blanks of the world, the Pelotons of the world, that are going to be looking for distribution also in a very similar fashion to Beachbody. Ken, I hear Beachbody's crushing it with their recent ads. Is that what you've been hearing?
They're doing well. Beachbody's is really, by the way, I like Peloton more because I think Peloton, if you guys listen to me, I told you to buy their stock. I told you 2 weeks ago, their earnings came out yesterday, and they, as Kevin would say, they crushed it because Peloton is not an equipment company. It's a content company.
Right.
It's literally a Trojan horse by using the bike and the treadmill to get you to watch content. It's brilliant. Yeah. It's a smart move. Hey, let's go to Stefano. Stefano, you have a question for Kevin.
Hey, yeah, what's up? Hi, Kevin. Nice meeting you. So yeah, I have a question. I'm doing drop shipping like right now as a business model. So basically you don't buy any products and they ship the products from China here in the US. So essentially the old way of doing infomercial right now is the Facebook ads you see or Instagram ads you see on your screen, and people buy from these ads. So you don't have any huge upfront cost because you need to just create the content, and the video is very easy. You can do that from your phone. And then you don't need to buy and invest the products as well, because you order the products only when someone buys it from you. So how do you see this business model affecting the infomercial industry and this kind of way to sell products on TV as well? Well,
number one, I love the business model. I mean, when I first started back in the early 80s, I didn't have any money. And so I was selling products that I didn't have the inventory sitting in the warehouse. So I put on the screen, we're going to ship this to you in 6 to 8 weeks. Okay. I don't know if anyone here remembers those days back in the 80s, but we said this product's not going to get to you for 6 to 8 weeks. Now think about doing that today, to tell somebody, hey, give me your order and I'm not going to ship it for 8 weeks. For people that want to start
Peloton
is
2 months.
Is it takes that long? Yeah. People will wait for that, but you're not going to wait for a $20 something or other that's, maybe you could buy up at the drugstore, right? So, but I love that business model. And is that what you're doing, is helping companies convert over to drop ship straight from China, like a DHL?
No, right now I have like different stores. I own different stores, and I have an agent in China shipping the products products with special lines. So they ship between 4 and 10 days from China, the single piece of product.
Right.
So it's pretty, it's called special line. So it's a kind of way, fast way to ship products. So it doesn't take like 20 days as it
Right.
used to take
Now,
before.
it has to be something kind of small that, you know, you're not going to
Yeah.
ship a gazelle that weighs 80 pounds, you know, so there are some limitations probably because when they're coming out of China, it's coming via air, and, you know, what is something that fits into a little piece of this, you know, is not bad on the cost. Where the bigger the box, the more expensive and the more difficult that is to do, right? So, but I think it's a great business model, and it also ties in very nicely to own your own home shopping channel that I was just talking about. So maybe there's a collaboration here also, because we're going to be putting people onto our platform, letting them sell. Now we got to make sure we got the product and that they can fulfill and ship. So maybe there's something there. In fact, you would be a good candidate to be selling on our shopping channel platform because you have the drop ship capabilities to get people into a business and fulfillment on a quick basis.
Kevin, just say ABC. What is it? Always be closing. Look at you. Closing, closing, closing. Is Brian somebody related to you? Brian Harrington, is it your son?
My son.
That's your son. Got it. I see him over there.
He's 32 years old. I told him to come on in today.
You should be part of our group. Hey, I'm going to bring on somebody that has created. Hey, Robert, turn on your, I'm unmuting you, Robert. Come on, Robert. So Robert created a product. Robert, when did you create your game? What year was it?
85.
1985 created. Do you know who Robert is?
I do know Robert.
Oh,
I know Kevin. He did.
Dictionary guy.
Kevin did a testimonial for my book.
wow, that's great. So
Yeah.
how do you take a Robert who in the game space is one of the most famous of all games? He's right up there with Monopoly.
Yeah.
How do you leverage a person like that when someone walks in your office going, hey, I'm employable. You can employ me right now. What do you want me to do? How do you take somebody like him and throw him into your business?
I mean, somebody like Robert is a great advisor to be joining the boards of private companies as well as public companies, right? Because he created something phenomenal that became a global brand. He sold it. He's had an exit. He's the kind of person that many entrepreneurs should be leaning on to join their advisory board or their board of directors. And it's sort of the business model that I work also. I mean, I'm on 9 public boards right now. And, you know, some of these stocks have gone from 10 cents to $5, which I love. And, you know, some of them are having a little tough time in this crazy time right now. But the bottom line, I mean, I do board meetings. I mean, I've been on 2 board meetings today, for example. COVID has caused some great opportunities as well as some big messes at various of the companies that I'm involved with. So, but interestingly, you know, some of the companies' sales have increased during this time. So Rob is a great guy to bring on to your board of directors, your advisory board. Get somebody that's got a lot of influence, can open up a lot of doors, get retail distribution, maybe raise some capital, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, hey guys. Hey, Rob, sounds like you have a future.
Thanks, Kevin. I'm on your board already. I'll come over. It's all good.
That's awesome.
Thanks, buddy.
So, hey, let's go to another angle. By the way, guys, get your questions in. We have limited time, so make sure you're in there. Let me go
I've only got about 8. Literally, I'm supposed to be 3:15. I'm sorry, it's 3:11 right now. So.
Oh, I know. I'm gonna watch what happens here. Here's our next guy, Dejer.
Hello.
Dejer's working on a product, and you tell me how you're going to sell it. Dejer, tell them what you're working on.
I'm starting a racing league for flying cars. So my ambition is to basically be publishing with it. So there's there's 100 good flying cars in the world. I'm bringing them together as a gallery. I used to work with, I ran a U.S. land speed racing team. I did a project called Rocket Racing League. Those were difficult because there weren't a lot of vehicles, but I'm effectively starting a a new category of publishing for flying cars, which is an industry that's now starting to blow up.
Yeah.
How do you do that one?
So the racing league, you pay to join. Where's the monetization?
The monetization is through publishing. It's a niche market. So you look at a company like Peterson Publishing, they started cranking out magazines for, the best model actually is National Hot Rod Association, where people used to drag race. A guy named Wally Parks started the company. I met him many years ago, and he turned that into an empire by getting people that were just drag racing their cars on the streets illegally, set up a location for them to do that. And then these magazines and product endorsements started flowing out of it. So it's people selling tires, people selling shifters, etc.
So there's a media play because you're talking about a magazine. Now,
correct.
My mind is thinking, on Shark Tank, one of the most successful products that I did, it was a mind blower. This guy walks in as a woman, and she had a cat toilet training system that the cat, she teaches the cat how to jump on top of the toilet and go to the bathroom. And it's called City Kitty. And I did the deal. People said, why did you invest in a cat toilet training product? I said, because of the viral videos that existed. She had thousands of viral videos of people that had bought the product, and they put it on the internet, the cat jumping on the toilet, going to the bathroom and jumping off. And so I got this on Good Morning America, Today Show,
Right.
The View, Wendy Williams. We got her into Walmart. We got her into Target. We got her into CVS and Walgreens. And it was the virality of that. The content creation was the play that I used. I never spent one dime on As Seen on TV.
Right.
We used all viral videos. So you're in an industry, flying cars. People want to see that. You've got viral video content play that can be a magazine in print, but I'd even, a digital magazine would be huge there. And now you're selling advertising. I get some influencers that are the drivers become the influencers, et cetera, et cetera. So sounds very exciting and interesting.
Damn. Last one, and I know you got to go. Dr. Bill Dorfman. First, I want you, Bill.
Yes.
So Bill is your age, actually, Kevin.
I know, Bill. We've spoken on stage before. How you doing, Bill?
How are you?
He just made it on GQ. He's on GQ this month.
Oh, he's in amazing shape. Great guy.
I'm actually working out while I'm listening to you. You're always awesome.
I did mine this morning. Good job, though.
Bill's got a teeth whitening product. What does he do? How does he get that in front
I love
of
it. I mean, I launched one of the very first teeth whiteners in 2002 called Natural White. And it was pretty successful back in the day. We then did another one called South Beach Smile, which was a light that you put in your mouth. And that did very well also. Haven't done that in about 15 years now. I know the category. What I love about teeth whitening is the magical transformation. And so the question I would ask to Bill is, what's the unique positioning? Because there's obviously a lot of peroxide-based products out there. There's lights, so I assume you've got some kind of unique positioning on your system.
Right. Well, actually, there's two magical things with tooth whitening. Number one, yes, the transformation. Number two is even when you finish the process, your teeth don't stay that white.
You're
so
right.
You have a customer for life because they're always going to want touch-ups. So
continuity.
We're right now in the final phases of developing a new product. And my goal with making products, like I did at Discus Dental, we became the #1 tooth whitening company in the world. We grew from zero with no investors to over $1.3 billion in sales. I invented Zoom.
Nice.
Tooth whitening.
Nice.
I wish the wrong Zoom. I wish it was the one we were on now, but Zoom tooth whitening.
The other Zoom teeth
whitening.
I've had it done before.
Yeah, so we have a new product that we're in the final phases of developing that when we put it on the market, it's an OTC product, will literally be a category killer. It is going to annihilate every other tooth whitening product on the market. And that should launch, without COVID, it was going to launch Q1. I think we can still hit Q2, and I can't tell you much more about it, but when you see it, you'll know it.
Bill, real quick. Kevin, how do you get into that deal? I want to see how you do it.
Well, I would say this. Okay, so I know you, and I know you, Bill, and I appreciate the discussion here. I've been in the teeth whitening business. All I would say is I would love a discussion with you about what I could bring to the table, because I do feel that I'll be able to bring something to the table for you. One of which, I mean, I sell around the world. I spent 10 years, went to England and opened an office in London, went to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, Sao Paulo, Brazil, Tokyo, Malaysia, 100 countries worth of distribution. So I can bring something to the table. I'm sure if we spend 20 minutes on a phone call, let's explore it when you're ready.
This 45 minutes has made you millions without you knowing it. I'm just saying, Kevin, this is probably one of the best 45 minutes you've done in a long time.
I'm going to tell you, Ken, you've impressed me with the group's amazing. I want to thank Brandon for getting me involved, and Ken, good connecting with you. And I know it's funny to see people that I've known for years on here. So
this is our group.
Thanks for having me. And I want to come back. Okay.
Hang out with us more. Kevin Harrington. Thank
you, guys. Appreciate it.
Give it up for Kevin, everyone. All right, guys. I know this was a short one, but it was well worth it. And see you tonight, 5 o'clock with William Quigley. Join us at the William Quigley one.
Thanks.
Bye, everyone.
Appreciate